This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain, website, or online store, make it with Squarespace. Hi guys, well today I'm gonna be building this mini workbench. It's really sturdy, heavy. So let's get building. Some of you guys who have watched this channel a while may remember me starting on this project a long time ago. Why don't I make one of these that's kind of larger? Like an all-in-one, decked-out, mobile workbench. That's what I'm working on. We'll see how that goes. I only got so far, and it just goes to show that sometimes projects take a long time to complete. But now it's time to finally finish it. So let's start from the beginning. So I started with gluing up a board using these maple end grain cutoffs, which were left over from the makerspace counter. The pieces were not all identical, so it was a little bit like fitting a puzzle together. Now, I used these pieces since I had these on hand, however, you could totally use framing lumber to create this type of workbench instead. After gluing and clamping, I tried to scrape off as much glue as possible before it completely dried to save on sandpaper for later, and then I mixed some sawdust with glue to fill in the gaps. So the next step is trimming the sides to get it nice and even, and this wood is just so thick it's easier to take little cuts at a time and then turn it around and complete it that way. We need a secondary piece to attach the vise to the board, so cutting up a thick piece of maple. So this vise here is made up of two parts. There are two screws in the back that need to be removed so you can take off the back plate. Just marking out where the holes need to be drilled on this cap piece. So I want to make sure that this piece is not any lower than the top. So to compensate for that, I'm going to drill these holes just a little bit like lower here. So that later on I can plane down this piece at the top to make sure it's nice and flush. Then the vise rods fit right into this cap here. And simply assembling the vise back together again. So definitely need some legs here, and just testing how high they need to be with a couple of scrap pieces. There. Next up, grooves for the T-tracks, and just taking a couple of passes going deeper each time. What's nice about these T-tracks is how you can place them wherever you want them, and one on each side of the board seems like a good idea. I actually decided to add the vise to the longer side of the bench instead, so simply cut a new end piece and assemble the vise that way instead. Next up, feet. Just rounding the edges a little bit to make them less sharp, and then they were ready to go on. Another thing that would be nice in the vise would be some dog holes. so just drilling those out on the sides, that way they won't interfere with the Vise hardware. I really wanted to add some leather in the jaws of the Vise, so cutting up some veg tanned here. Then securing with some water-based contact cement. And carefully cutting out the holes for the Vise rods in the leather. Now, to prevent the bench from sliding all around when chiseling or planing, I wanted to add some heavy-duty rubber to the feet. And this is the stuff people use for lining their truck beds, which I found at the farm store, and it's really thick and nice. So here's Matt working on a sacrificial board, so you can either use it to press things like a book press, or you can secure it and use it as a base for drilling or chopping. And that way you won't destroy the main board. We noticed that the Vise was a little front heavy when extended, so to provide more support we added some of these inserts and chiseled out space for them and screwed in place. That way it's easy to add some adjustable supports, and this worked pretty great. For a finish, shellac everywhere at first, and then some of my linseed oil beeswax polish to get it nice and smooth. So I've been wanting to make this for a long time, and I thought it would be useful, but ever since finishing it, I've been using it a ton, and it's been really nice. I really like that in here it makes the work higher, which is great. And it's also actually portable. While it's really, sturdy and hefty and heavy, it's not so heavy that you can't move it around. So it's really great to be able to move it, into the makerspace or around here or wherever I need it. So nice to be able to have somewhere to clamp things, because I often find that to be an issue if you're carving spoons or you have a tricky situation. And another thing I really want to do on here as well is leather work. When you're punching or you're doing things, you just want a nice solid work surface. So I think this is going to get a ton of use. So this video is brought to you by Squarespace, and as you know guys, I've been using their platform for my website and shop for a long time, so I always really enjoy working with them because I think their system is really great. And if you're a maker, building things whether just for fun or for a business, having a great website is really a must. And I think this is something to consider even if you just gather all your projects in one place for a portfolio. Now, Squarespace makes it really easy for you to make a site that looks awesome. They feature an all-in-one platform, so there's nothing to install or patch or upgrade ever. They've got a ton of beautiful templates to choose between. They offer 24/7 customer support, and it's really easy to set up or transfer your domain on Squarespace. Plus, they offer a great system for selling products and having an online store. So if you're ready to start off the new year right, then head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/DarbinOrvar, 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain.